Yes guys, welcome back to the channel for a brand new video, and in today's video it is game week 10 predictions for Sky Bet League 2, and I will be going through all of the game week matches for the 10th game week of League 2, and today's guest is Ethan, obviously on the fan cam, on the vlogs and stuff like that, so big shout out to Ethan for coming through and being a guest for game week number 10. Some very interesting matches in game week 10, some very good matchups, and let's get on with predicting some games. Before we do get on with any predictions, of course, please make sure to smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and make sure you turn those notification bells on so you never miss an upload. Let's get on with some predictions. So then, the first game of match day 10 is the first 12:30 kickoff on Saturday, and it is Fleetwood taking on Bromley. Now, Fleetwood got an incredible 6-2 win away at Walsall on Tuesday night. An incredible result away from home against top of the league Walsall for Fleetwood, whilst Bromley got a very good 2-2 draw at home to Chesterfield. Michael Cheek scoring again for Bromley in that one. In terms of the league then, Fleetwood currently sit in 6th place in League 2 on 15 points, whilst Bromley sit in 19th. In terms of how I think it's going to go, obviously Fleetwood are going to come into this with incredible confidence after just scoring 6 goals away from home against Walsall. Bromley, again, since they've come up, they don't look out of place. They really don't look out of place in League 2. I do think Fleetwood is still going to win, though. I'm going to go Fleetwood 2, Bromley 1.
Right, Ethan here again. We're doing more predictions for the channel. And the first game is Bromley versus Fleetwood. And personally, I think it's going to be a close game, as both teams are... Well, Fleetwood won 6-2 against Walsall away, which was a crazy result. You had Bromley were always up there in terms of scoring goals with Michael Cheek up front. So I think it's going to be a pretty even game, and my prediction for it is going to be a 2-2 draw, because I just think both teams ain't great defensively, but they both play well and they both score goals. So my prediction is 2-2.
Other 12:30 game sees Grimsby Town take on Doncaster Rovers. Now, Grimsby got a very, very good 1-0 win away at Gillingham, which was a massive win for them. Kieran Green scoring the goal in that one, whilst Doncaster Rovers got back to winning ways after they beat Barrow 1-0 after, they haven't been in good form at all. Doncaster Rovers getting that win over Barrow was a massive, massive result for them. In terms of this one, I think this is going to be very tough. Doncaster Rovers currently sit 5th in League 2, whilst Grimsby sitting 8th, only a point behind their Yorkshire visitors for this fixture. And I think it's going to be quite tough. 3-4 weeks ago, start of the season, you would have said, Doncaster to win this 3-4-0. But Grimsby look a team ready to, fight this season, and they do look like a team ready to fight. But I am going to go with the away side to edge it. I'm going to go Grimsby 1, Doncaster 2.
Next is Doncaster Rovers versus Grimsby Town. Now, based off of Doncaster's recent performances, they had a couple of players sent off a couple of games ago. Luke Marnu and Anderson got sent off on the weekend. I'm not sure how they got on Tuesday, but Grimsby have been scoring goals. They beat Carlisle 3-2 the other weekend, so it's going to be a closer game than what meets the eye. But I think Doncaster just edge it on paper. So for me, it's going to be a 2-1 win to Doncaster. I think Joe Ironside will get a brace.
List of the 3 o'clock kickoffs sees Accrington Stanley take on Morecambe. Accrington Stanley 24th, Morecambe 23rd, and it really is a massive, massive game for both of these two teams. It's going to be a game where one of them has to win. A draw in this, and then other results go their way, and they could see themselves even more away from safety. But in terms of their last result then, Accrington Stanley got a 2-1 defeat to the hands of Cheltenham Town. Ryan Bowman scoring in the 80th minute to take all 3 points for Cheltenham. Whilst Morecambe then, they drew 1-1 on Tuesday against Bradford City. They were in the lead until an 88th minute Bradford equaliser from Shepherd got a point for the Bantams. And as I said, it is 23rd against 24th. And I actually think there's going to be goals in this one. I'm going to go Accrington 2, Morecambe 3. I think Morecambe are a better side, slightly. I mean, it is slightly, but I do think they are slightly a better side. And I'm going to go 3-2 Morecambe.
Accrington Stanley versus Morecambe. Battle of the shitters at the bottom, that is. Now, this is going to be either going to be an insane high-scoring game, or it's going to be one of the most boring 1-1 games that you'll ever see in your life. Now, both teams are absolutely terrible. We beat both teams. They're both absolutely appalling. So it's going to be hard to predict. But Morecambe, I know, have Lee Angle injured, who did score a few goals in recent weeks. So I think with Accrington, with Darren Costello getting off the mark for Accrington, I feel like he might score again. So I'm going to say a 1-0 win to Accrington.
Barrow against Cheltenham is a very interesting one because Barrow did lose in midweek to Doncaster Rovers thanks to Harry Clifton goal, and Cheltenham got a very, very big win over Accrington Stanley thanks to Ryan Bowman. Cheltenham currently sitting 16th in the league, only their third win of the season. A much needed win. Whilst Barrow drop out of the automatic promotion places and into 4th. And, I mean, Cheltenham obviously come into this season with quite high expectations, I imagine, because they've just come down from League One. You know, they've got a decent manager in Michael Flynn, some decent players and some decent signings, but it's just not really worked. And Barrow looked like a very well-drilled team. I think, again, Barrow are going to get back to winning ways after that defeat to Doncaster, but it's going to be tight because Cheltenham, I don't really think they're the type of team that are going to get battered a lot, if at all. So I'm going to go Barrow 1, Cheltenham 0.
Right, I don't think this one's even really a question here. Barrow versus Cheltenham. Now, Barrow will just go absolutely wipe the floor of them. They're going to shit on them. Cheltenham have one of the leakiest defences in the league. They've got a past-it Scott Bennett. They've got Sam Stubbs, who Cheltenham fans have been saying has been terrible for them. They've got Owen Evans in goal, who's a terrible goalkeeper. Ryan Bowman, who barely scores. I only see it going one way, and that's towards Barrow, and I think it's going to be a 3-0 smashing with Newby scoring and Emil Aqua scoring twice.
Next game then is Chesterfield taking on Walsall, and as I said, Chesterfield got a 2-2 away draw at Bromley. Will Grigg is on fire, scoring 2 goals for them away at Bromley. A side who, you know, come up through the National League with quite high expectations. Chesterfield, they currently sit 10th in the league, whilst their visitors on Saturday, Walsall, were top of the league last week in midweek before any game was played. And they did drop down to 3rd place. And yeah, they got absolutely smashed in there. They got smashed 6-2 at home to Fleetwood Town, Charlie Adams Fleetwood. And I think they will come back to winning ways in this one. I know Chesterfield are a decent side and they've got some very good players, James Berry, Will Grigg. But I do think Walsall are going to bounce back and try and get back to top of the league. I'm going to go Chesterfield 1, Walsall 2.
Chesterfield versus Walsall now. I feel like Walsall, after what happened against Fleetwood on yesterday night, I just feel like Chesterfield might turn up and do the same. Because Chesterfield, they got Will Grigg back. He scored twice. They've got Armando Dobra, Mandeville, Gordon at left back, James Berry, McNally. I just feel that they have way too much for Walsall's defence to handle. And I feel like you're going to start to see Walsall slip down the table. So for me, I reckon it'll be a 2-0 win to Chesterfield.
Colchester United against Carlisle United is a very, very tough fixture to call. Mike Williamson's Carlisle still look struggling. I know they got that win away at Swindon, but another defeat at home on midweek against Notts County. Alassana Jatta, I think his name is, and Robertson with the goals for the Magpies, whilst Colchester United got a very, very good point away at Port Vale thanks to Samson Davide's 90th minute goal for them. And Carlisle still struggling, 22nd in the league, only 2 points behind 23rd place Morecambe. Colchester are 4 points better off than Carlisle. They're in 15th. And I'm going to go for another 3 points for Colchester. It doesn't look like Carlisle are going to get a win. It doesn't look like they're going to get a point at the moment under Mike Williamson. Like I said, they beat Swindon, but they are poor. It's not hard to beat Swindon, even though we got thumped by them, but that's besides the point. I'm going to go Colchester 1, Carlisle United 0.
Colchester versus Carlisle now. These are two of teams who, on paper, have decent teams and have seemingly struggled at the start of the season. It's going to be a good midfield battle with Vela for Carlisle against Jack Payne for Colchester. You've got Carlisle with Terrell Thomas and Aaron Hayden, where Colchester have Goodliff and Tom Flanagan. So it's going to be an evenly matched game, I think, but I just see it going one way, and that's a 1-1 draw.
Next up then, Crewe Alexandra taking on Gillingham. Now, Crewe Alexandra didn't play in midweek as they were due to play away at Plough Lane against AFC Wimbledon, whilst Gillingham lost at home to Grimsby Town thanks to Kieran Green's goal. In terms of the table, Crewe Alexandra sit in 12th place, 2 points off the playoffs, whilst Gillingham are still top of the league. I do think it's going to be a difficult one, this one for Crewe. Obviously, they didn't play in midweek. Gillingham are going to want to bounce back after that defeat to Grimsby. And I do think that Crewe Alexandra are going to be playing Gillingham at a very bad time because, like I said, Gillingham have just been beaten at home. They're going to want to bounce back, and I think they're going to bounce back. I'm going to go with a very comfortable away victory. Crewe Alexandra 1, Gillingham 3. I just think they're going to be annoyed at that defeat against Grimsby, and they're going to want to bounce back immediately.
Crewe Alexandra versus Gillingham Town now. Gillingham have looked really good so far this season. They've got an incredible team, like the likes of Jack Nolan, Elliot Nevitt, Romeo Hutton, even though he did get injured. They got Glenn Morris and Jake Turner as their goalkeepers. I mean, it's an exceptional squad. And I just feel like they're going to walk all over Crewe, as we beat them 2-1 on Saturday and we weren't that good whatsoever. It's just Crewe attacking wise look absolutely appalling. With Kane Hemmings getting injured, I just don't see any threat for them. Unless Mickey can keep that clean sheet for them, then it's going one way, and that's to Gillingham, and I'm going to say a 1-0 win.
MK Dons versus Tranmere Rovers is an interesting one. Obviously, MK Dons got an incredible 5-1 victory away from home against Harrogate in midweek and technically scored all 6 goals because Luke Offord scored an own goal for Harrogate, and they got a very, very good 5-1 victory, whilst Tranmere Rovers got a point at home to Swindon thanks to a Chris Merry own goal scoring for Swindon. Otherwise, it would have been 3 points for Tranmere. Tranmere Rovers then sit 17th in League 2. MK Dons sit 14th. The new era of Scott Lindsay at MK Dons is going pretty good, isn't it? You know, a draw and a win. A draw at Bromley, a win at home. Away from home against Harrogate. And this is the first game of the Scott Lindsay era at Stadium MK, and I think it's going to be a victory for MK Dons. I'm going to go MK Dons 3, Tranmere Rovers 0. MK Dons, I think, are going to look strong under Scott Lindsay.
MK Dons and Tranmere now. Tranmere have had a poor start to the season, lacking in goals other than Amari Patrick, who's got 2, I'm pretty sure. And MK Dons have just come off a really good victory against Harrogate. Pretty sure it ended 6-1 in the end. So Scott Lindsay, who's gone there, is clearly up for it, the challenge. And MK Dons are just going to smash them in there. Tranmere haven't got a chance against this MK Dons team. And I think it's going to end up being a 3-1 win. I reckon Amari Patrick will get a consolation for Tranmere, but MK Dons will just have way too much quality.
Next up then, Notts County taking on Port Vale at Meadow Lane. And Notts County, as we mentioned, got a very good 2-0 victory away from home against Carlisle, whilst Port Vale were pegged back in the 90th minute thanks to Samson Davide scoring for Colchester United. Now, Notts County Obviously, they got that slip up against Morecambe and the defeat the week before that, and they did look a bit shaky, but getting back to winning ways away from home against Carlisle, and sort of getting back on the form wagon for them will be crucial. They do currently sit in second place in League Two after that win. Port Vale gone into the playoffs were already in the playoffs, weren't they? They're in seventh. Second versus seventh. I think there'll be goals, and I'm going to actually go for a Desmond here. I'm going to go Notts County 2, Port Vale 2.
Now, this could be a tasty tie. Port Vale against Notts County. But with Notts County having Jody Jones injured, that's a massive, massive loss, as he is their main danger man. But we can't forget they still have the likes of Alex Bass, Matty Platt. They have Dan Crowley, Alessandro Jatta, McGoldrick. They have an insane team. And I do think that Notts County will get the win. I don't think it'll be an easy win, but I just think Port Vale are way too inconsistent. And I just feel Notts County have way more talent than Port Vale on paper, but you never know. But I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to Notts County.
Game of Saturday's fixture sees Salford City take on AFC Wimbledon. Now, Salford, oh my goodness me. I know I might be biased here, but what an embarrassment that was for them in midweek. They looked awful. You know, they didn't look like they could attack. Their defending looked shaky. And they just offered absolutely goddamn nothing. And I think that was probably the easiest game we've had all season. Obviously, AFC Wimbledon didn't play in midweek. Their game was postponed. Wimbledon sitting in 11th. Had a decent season so far, haven't they? Only the one defeat. Only 2 points off the playoffs with 3 games in hand for AFC Wimbledon. So, you know, if they would have won those 3 games in hand, they would be top of the league by a country mile or by 2-3 points. And they are looking good. While Salford currently sit 20th, only 2 wins all season. I think this is going to be a pretty comfortable win for AFC Wimbledon. I'm going to go Salford 0, Wimbledon 3. I just don't see the goals from Salford. They've got all the players, but they just can't get them scoring and can't get goals going in that end. 3-0 to AFC.
Man United B-Tech, aka Salford City, against AFC Wimbledon, the real Dons. Now, if it's anything to go by, Salford are going to get absolutely smashed, as they got torn apart by the GOAT Carl Hudlin yesterday night. What a game that was, by the way. So, and I think Wimbledon just have weight, but they have an insane team themselves. They got the likes of Alistair Smith in that midfield, Matty Stevens up top, Owen Goodman in goal. So it's going to be an easy game for AFC Wimbledon. I'm going to go comfortable, manful 2-0 win for them.
The final game of Saturday sees Swindon Town taking on Harrogate. Now, Swindon got a very, very much needed point away at Tranmere Rovers, albeit thanks to a Chris Merry own goal from Tranmere, whilst Harrogate Town got battered 5-1 at home and didn't even score because Luke Offord scored the goal for Harrogate Town, and MK Don's own goal. Harrogate sitting in 18th place in League 2, while Swindon sitting in 21st. And again, I still don't see a win for Swindon Town. They look crap, and they are crap. And I'm more annoyed that we lost 4-0 at them with how bad they are. And I'm going to go with an away victory. Swindon 0, Harrogate 1.
Right, another tie at the bottom of the table. Swindon versus Harrogate Town. Now, Swindon, with their only win being against, of course, my team Newport. Obviously, it's just brilliant. But other than that, they've been absolutely shit. But yeah, again, Harrogate losing 6-1 to MK Dons. It's not going to be a one for the ages, I don't think. But I'm going to go for a shock result. I'm going to say Swindon to win 2-1. I just feel like this will be a game where Swindon will win, as Harrogate always seem to struggle against the worst teams compared to the better teams. So, yeah, my prediction, 2-1 Swindon.
The final game is the one you've all been waiting for, the Monday night fixture at Valley Parade. Bradford City against Newport County. Now, it's quite mental that this is obviously a a Monday night fixture under the lights at Valley Parade. It's going to be a very tough game for us. Obviously, I am a Newport fan. Bradford got a 1-1 draw in midweek at Morecambe, thanks to Shepherd getting it in the 88th minute there. Whilst Newport County were excellent against Salford. Kyle Hudlin goal and assist, Aaron Wildig goal, Michael Spellman goal. A lot to take into this game from Newport point of view. Bradford, we'll talk about them first. They currently sit in 13th in the league on 12 points, whilst Newport are 9th in the league. Only a point off 4th place, 3 points off 3rd, 4 points off top of the league, and all that moaning 3-4 weeks ago is probably eradicated now. In terms of the prediction though, I'm going to go for... It's a very tough place to go, Bradford City. I'm going to go Bradford City 1, Newport County 2. I think we're going to nick it just because it's a tough place to go, and all this taken into account, I think it's going to be a 2-1 away victory for Newport.
And now the final game of the game week, and the main one for the channel, obviously. Newport County versus Bradford away. Now, this is going to be a tough game for the county. We have done well to win our last two. I think we've played some decent stuff over the last 2 games. But we always seem to struggle against Bradford. We rarely get a win against them or a result in general. But we're going to go into it with the confidence of beating Salford for the first time in the league since they've been in here. So, if we can do that against Salford, we can do it against the currently out of form Bradford side. Yes, they have Andy Cook, who's a really big tag up front. But I'm going to say a 2-2 draw. I reckon Andy Cook will get a brace, but I also think that Bobby Camwa and Kyle Hudlin will score for the county to get our first draw in the new year since New Year's Day. Our last draw against Sutton on New Year's Day. So yeah, 2-2 draw for the Newport County versus Bradford. But that has been the game week. That's been our game week predictions. I'm sure there'll be some content out for the Bradford game on Monday night. I will be watching it, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get a result. But this has been Ethan. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And it was nice for Mike to get me on here again. I do enjoy doing my predictions, so hopefully more to come, and hopefully we'll see you on the next video up the county.
And those are Game Week 10 predictions, guys. Please make sure, if you have enjoyed this video, to smash the likes on the video. Subscribe down below. It is free to do so. And make sure you turn notifications on so you never miss an upload, never miss a live stream, etc, etc. And a big, massive thank you to Ethan for coming on and getting his predictions for Game Week 10. Like I said, thank you for watching, guys. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications. And I'll see you for another video shortly. Thanks for watching.